Hi, this is Mrs. Gallenbeck, and we are looking at spreadsheets still. Today is lesson 5, and mostly focusing on inserting, duplicating, and renaming sheets and tabs, but we'll also show you a little bit of percentages and some tips and tricks for your final spreadsheet, for spreadsheet 4. So let's get started. This is what your template will look like once you get it set up. The directions give you the data, so you're going to go ahead and get these set up. And then I'm not going to show you too much because I want you to think for yourself, but you should know by now, we've been working with formulas and functions long enough that we're going to calculate gross pay, and it tells you in the direction sheet what to do. So it tells you gross pay is hours worked times hourly wage. And so you would come back here, it's going to be hours worked times, we're using the asterisk for this, hourly rate or hourly wage. I guess I need to change that. And then we hit return. And we now know, with our knowledge of using the fill handle, that we can now click and drag that down and make that really, really easy to copy so that you don't have to type that in over and over and over. Okay, I'm going to undo that. And then the next step would be to calculate these percentages. Again, I'm not going to show you too much because I want you to think for yourself, but it does tell you each of the tax rates to use. Now, these are obviously subject to change. They may not be current with today's percentages, but we're going to use these for these sakes. So federal tax would be 15% of gross pay. So we come back here. We know now that a formula or a function has to start with an equal sign. And we're going to do gross pay, asterisk or times. And you can do either one. You can do 0.15. You guys are used to converting things to decimals. Or I just go ahead and do 15%. Okay. And again, you can use the fill handle to drag that down when you're done. So you're going to do that for each of these tax brackets or types of taxes. Then here you're going to use a sum function to total up all the deductions. So it would be federal tax, state tax, city tax, Social Security tax, plus Medicare tax. And then if you read the directions, it should explain this, but net pay is gross pay minus your total deductions. So for that one, you're going to end up doing, again, start with an equal sign, gross pay minus your total deductions. So you'll get a total for that. So you'll do that for each person. You should get totals down here. And this is basically what I'm checking at the very end is your total net pay. And that should be used or calculated using a formula or function. Okay, so basically this video I made because you should really know all that by now. But this is the first assignment that has you really working with sheets, inserting a new sheet, copying, duplicating data, etc. So once you finish this entire spreadsheet, it has you duplicate this sheet. Now you could you could insert a new sheet, but then it's gonna be blank and you're gonna have to copy the data and paste the data. So since we're using this data, what's easiest to do is to go ahead and come down here, click this little arrow next to the tab and say duplicate. Okay, and it just made a copy. And then eventually, if you go back to the directions, it tells you the initial one is going to be November payroll, and then this new one that you're making is going to be called December payroll, and then you will make a few changes. So the employees get a raise. Some of them are working different hours. So I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet, and again, we're going to rename the initial one. So you click on the little arrow, say rename. This one's now called November. Spell it right. Payroll. And then this new one we just made, we're going to rename is December payroll. And then you'll complete it. This one will be a lot easier. You'll already have all this data filled in. You're just going to make a few changes to the hours worked and the hourly rate. And that should, if you did everything right, if you used formulas and you used the fill handle to drag everything properly, that should automatically and very quickly update your total net pay. So again, that's what I'm checking. I'm going to be checking on November payroll, your total net pay, and on your new sheet, your December payroll, your total net pay. So those numbers need to be accurate and they need to be calculated using a formula or function. Okay? Message me if you have questions. Have a great day.